By William Steig.
Sylvester Duncan lived with his mother and father at Acorn Road in Oakdale. One of his hobbies was collecting pebbles of unusual shape and color.
One rainy Saturday, he found a quite extraordinary one. It was flaming red and shiny. As he was studying this remarkable pebble, he felt a shiver up his back and felt the cold rain on his back.
Dribble, 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 dribble.
I wish it would stop raining.
To his great surprise, the rain stopped. It didn't stop gradually as rains usually do. It ceased.
Beam, beam.
In all his young life, Sylvester had never had a wish gratified so quickly. It struck him that the magic must be at work. To make a test, he put the pebble on the ground.
I wish it would rain again.
Nothing happened, but when he said the same thing, holding the pebble in his hook, the sky turned black and rain came shooting down.
Dribble, 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 dribble.
What a lucky day this is. From now on, I can have anything I want. My mother and father can have anything they want. My friends and relatives can have everything anybody wants.
He wished the sunshine back into the sky
I wish it was
and started home, eager to amaze his mother and father. He couldn't wait to see the looks on their faces.
As he was crossing Strawberry Hill, he was startled to see a mean, hungry lion looking at him from behind some tall grass. If he hadn't been so frightened, he could have made the lion disappear. Or he could have wished himself safe at home.
He could have wished many things, but he panicked and couldn't think.
I wish I were a rock.
And he became a rock.
I saw that donkey as clear as day. Maybe I'm going crazy.
And there was Sylvester, a rock on Strawberry Hill, with the magic pebble laying right beside him on the ground.
Oh, how I wish I were myself again.
But nothing happened. He had to be touching the magic pebble for the magic to actually work.
His thoughts began to race like mad. He was scared and worried. Eventually, he realized that his only chance of becoming himself again was for someone to find the red pebble and to wish that the rock next to it were a donkey.
Sylvester fell asleep. What else could he do? Night came with many stars. Twinkle, 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 twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle.
Meanwhile, back at home, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan stayed up all night wondering what had happened.
I will never scold Sylvester again as long as I live, no matter what he does.
At dawn, they went inquiring all of the neighbors.
Have you seen Sylvester? Do you know where Sylvester is? Have you seen our dear little angel?
Right there.
All the dogs in Oakdale went searching for him. They searched behind every rock and tree. They sniffed the rock on Strawberry Hill, but it smelled like a rock. It didn't smell like Sylvester.
Sylvester, nightfall. After a month of searching and inquiring, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan no longer knew what to do. They concluded that something dreadful must have happened.
They tried their best to be happy, but they were scared, but they were miserable. Life had no meaning for them anymore.
Night followed day and day followed night, over and over again. Sylvester woke up less and less often, and when he was awake, he was only hopeless and unhappy. The days grew colder, and the fall came with leaves changing color.
Then it was winter. The winds blew this way and that. It snowed. Then the snows melted. The earth warmed up in the spring sun. Leaves were on the trees again. Flowers showed their young faces.
One day in May, Mr. Duncan insisted that Mrs. Duncan go on a picnic.
let's be happy and try to live again, even though our dear Sylvester is no longer with us.
They went to Strawberry Hill.
Mrs. Duncan sat down by the rock. The warmth of his own mother sitting by him woke Sylvester up from his deep winter sleep. How he wanted to shout,
Mother, Father, it's me, Sylvester. I'm right here.
but he couldn't talk. He had no voice. He was stone dumb. Suddenly, Mr. Duncan saw the red pebble.
What a fantastic pebble. Sylvester would have loved it for his collection.
He put the pebble on the rock.
Mr. and Mrs. Duncan began to eat. Sylvester was now wide awake. Mrs. Duncan felt some mysterious excitement.
You know, Father, I have the strangest feeling that our dear Sylvester is still alive and not far away.
I am.
He wanted to shout. If only he had realized that the pebble resting on his back was the magic pebble.
Oh, how I wish he were here with us on this lovely May Day. Don't you wish it too, Father?
How can you ask such a question?
I wish I were myself again. I wish I were my real self again.
And in that instant, he was.
You can imagine the scene that follows. The embraces, the kisses, the questions,
Who?
What?
Where?
Why?
When?
the answers,
Me, Pebble, here, because all year.
the loving looks, and the fond exclamations.
Snickerdoodle-doodle. My little donut.
Mommy, Daddy.
When they had eventually calmed down a bit and had gotten home, Mr. Duncan put the pebble in an iron safe. Someday they might want to use it, but really, for now, what more could they wish for? They all had all that they wanted.